back to the Maker's Gonna Learn YouTube channel.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. We have Sadie producing and she's mic'd up with us, so she's here. But it's just me with you guys today. And I'm so excited to make this. Y'all, first of all, I'm looking at it on the camera. Stop it. Like, that's paper.
It's stunning.
That's paper. So today we're going to be making this beautiful 3D paper card for Mother's Day, but you can do it for anyone. Let's go overhead and we will take a look at it. So this is the card we're going to be making. We just put some random ribbon on it so we can hang it up, but this is the card. It's going to say, it says, "Thanks for helping me bloom." And then you can take this out and just have this like by itself in a little vase. I am obsessed with this. I think this is so stinking cute, and we're gonna teach you exactly how to make this today. So if you are new here and you want to make this project as well, we have dropped the link. We have all of this already set up in a file to where really all you have to do is load it into Cricut Design Space and cut it. It really is that simple. So if you are a member, you do have access to this file. It is linked down below this video. If you are not, you can grab that $7 trial membership for MGL, and you can grab, this can be one of the 20 files that you get. And y'all, it comes with a lot. Like, this file is pretty large. So we're gonna be making this. I'm super, super excited. Yay. So let's go ahead and talk about all of the materials that you are going to need to complete this project. So obviously we need the cardstock that, to make the flower. And y'all, the cardstock is going to be very, very important. The type of cardstock you use for this is going to be extremely important.
It's honestly going to make or break the project.
Truly, it is going to make or break the project. If you want my opinion, a textured cardstock for this, it's a no. Yeah. It's just, I say it's a no. You can accomplish this. It is not going to look this good. So you really want to look for the right brand of cardstock. You want to look for a color core. So what color core is it has color all the way through. That's going to make it look realistic. Yes. And y'all, our favorite brand of cardstock is going to be, hands down, Celebration Warehouse. There really is, in our opinion, there's no other comparable brand. It is going to be linked down below for you all as well. If I'm not mistaken, as I lose one of my rings, if I'm not mistaken, this is the light pink, and I'm wanting to say forest green. I kind of want to go out, give me just a second. Stay right there. I'm going to grab our book of colors so that you all can see all of the different colors. And I'm sure most of you all here have been around the Maker's Gonna Learn channel, and you know that Celebration Warehouse is our favorite, but I wanted to bring this out so I could give you the exact color names. Okay, so the leaves are pine green from Celebration Warehouse, and then pale rose. How fitting. Pale rose and pine green. That is what we use for our colors. And y'all, the pine green is an absolute perfect match to this floral tape. Like, look at this.
That's crazy.
Do you see this? Like, this is also one of those things that makes it look realistic, because you are able to create this stem and have the petals look like the stem. Now, I'm gonna show you, we didn't think that we actually need to order more of this pine green, but we found some scrap pieces in our scrap pile. But we had this one pulled out, and I was like, I mean, it would work, it's fine, but it's not gonna look super realistic, because look at it up against this green.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but you would be able to tell. It would be a dead giveaway, like, oh, that's paper. But when you look at it like this, it's just not as noticeable.
It's
So
so
the
elevated.
pine green in my opinion, is truly going to make or break this project. But if you don't have pine green, it is fine to use another color of green. This is just if you want it to look like this one. So pine green and pale rose are the colors that we are using. You can see I've just got a couple scrap pieces here. Now you probably are going to need, no, actually looking at it, I think we can fit all of them on one 12 by 12 sheet, but I do have 2 sheets here just in case. So other than your paper, you will need some type of floral wire. Now this is also linked down below for you all. This is what we're going to be using to create our stem. If you have ever created paper flowers before, or if you were here for our boot camp and created the orchid, you know how important using this floral wire can be to create the stems of our paper flowers. So we are using floral wire, and I'm probably going to use 2, maybe 3 pieces of this wire to kind of wrap together to give it more of a sturdier stem. And then after I have done that, I will then take the floral tape and wrap it around the floral wire. Excuse me, sorry guys. So floral wire and floral tape do help give it a more realistic look. Now, other than that, there are a few more things that you will need. We do have a pair of scissors here just to, in case we need them, we have them here on the table. Then we have, y'all can see this is, actually I did this one myself. I accidentally cut across here and did not mean to.
Oh,
so we have a somewhat of a ruined Cricut mat that we use either on this side or this side. Obviously use, if you have one, we use this to help shape our petals. So we use fondant tools and a mat. Now if you have a silicone mat, let me give you some different alternatives for a mat to use to help shape your petals. So you can use a pressing mat, number 1. You can use a mouse pad, number 2. Now obviously a mouse pad is not going to be as thick, so it's not going to give you as much bounce and as much room to kind of work as this would. A thicker one is going to allow you to curl those pieces up more. You can see when I press this down versus you can't really see when I press this down. So just know, if you do a mouse pad, it might be better if you like stack a couple on top of each other, or if you have a heat press and it comes with that like rubbery mat on the bottom of the plate, that is also a really good alternative. Just something to use so that you can help shape those petals, okay? Obviously, like I said, we did use these fondant tools as well to help us shape. You are going to need a hot glue gun. A hot glue gun just allows us to add these petals and create these petals and have them stick in there a lot faster than using any other wet adhesive. So we do have a hot glue gun. And then the last thing that we need is just a regular standard piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This is what we are going to be creating this backer from. This backer is a print and cut, so you just need some regular 8.5 by 11 work. Now Amy asked, would a pillow work? So it's going to have to be, if I did some type of pillow, you have to think, this is still pretty sturdy. Like, yes, it has give. Yes, it is kind of somewhat, it's called a pressing pillow, but the material is a little bit more stiff. So you just have to be careful if you do use a pillow. You just want to be careful. If it's too soft, it's going to have a lot of give and it's going to go straight down to the bottom. You can play around with it.
Maybe a folded blanket or a towel.
Oh yeah, a towel. I think if you don't have any of the things that we have just talked about, I do think a towel would be a very good alternative, like a folded towel. It's going to have a little bit of give, a lot like this. but still not have so much bounce and give to it that you can't control it.
Yeah.
So I think a towel would be a good alternative. So now that we have talked about, and I'm going to move this stand off the table real quick. Oh, also, by the way, obviously, guys, you are going to need some type of mat. And we do love using our brayer to bray our stuff down on our mat. So, with all of that being said, I'm going to organize my table here just a little bit, but we are going to hop over to the share screen, and we are going to start out in Cricut Design Space. And here is everything that this is everything that you get with this file. So we do already have it pre-loaded here in Design Space. And this is everything that you are going to get. So let's go ahead and hop over to Maker's Gonna Learn. And if you are searching for this on the website, what you are gonna search, you're gonna come over here to the cut file section. And then you're just gonna search flower gift. Now, we do have this 3D paper rose as its own file, but if you want everything together, then you will need to search flower gift. Lisa says a few felt pieces stacked. I think that would also work if you don't have, if you don't want to use a towel or a folded blanket, you could try. Y'all, the fun part about this is you will have the ability to try pretty much whatever you want. If you think it's gonna work, Lisa said a few pieces of felt stacked. That seems like it would probably give you some give. I think that would work. So just try out whatever you want, but you want something when we are talking about shaping these petals, you just want something that has a little bit of bounce and give, but not an overabundance of that, okay? So this is the file that we're going to be using to download it. You're going to click this download. If you don't open this up, there will be an arrow pointing down at the, I'll show you exactly what I mean. We'll just go back one. So you can click this download icon once you open this up, or if you are on the search section, you don't even have to open this up. You can just click this little arrow pointing down and you can download that super, super fast. Yes, Angela, I had talked about a mouse pad. A mouse pad works great. So after you have downloaded, what you're going to do is you're going to come back over here to Cricut Design Space, and then we are going to click on that upload icon. What? Internet connection? What are you talking about?
Unacceptable.
Very unacceptable. Upload image, we're going to try. We're going to bring our Finder into view. Boop. Downloads. Flower gift SVG. Drag and drop. And come on.
That's crazy.
Okay. Well, that's how you would download if you were downloading. No.
Wait.
Keep.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how it's going to come in. I hope it works. We already have it loaded, so we're going to hope that this is fine. For some reason, the devil was playing with the church's money this morning, and Cricut Design Space was telling me some things. Now, another thing that I do want to talk to you all about, after you have uploaded this. So this comes in just like this. Now, these two pieces, so this piece, the thanks for helping me bloom, and the back piece, so this guy right here with the slits, are actually separate right now. Let's go ahead and show you, go overhead. So we have made this, these two pieces on Design Space are separate. Now what I wanted to talk to you all about is, if you wanted to, let's say, and some of these, you can see some of these leaves are a little bit flimsy. We might need to like glue them actually. You might want to glue them on the stem. But what I wanted to show you, we used a Maker's Gonna Learn font for this piece right here. It is in the font Monarch. So if you wanted to add like Happy Mother's Day or from whatever, or you wanted to add something else down here, you can do that. And we'll go back over to our share screen. But what you will need to do is you will also need to go back to the Makers Gonna Learn website, and you will need to make sure you download the font Monarch. It is also linked down below for you all, okay? So if you want to add a name at the bottom, you can do that. You just need to make sure that you download the font Monarch. So let's go back here and let's talk about, y'all, this is pretty much set up, ready to go. If you wanted to do this as is, literally all you would have to do is drag and select both of these layers here. Actually, we need to deselect the lines right here. We don't need them. We just need our base here. And then we need our Thanks for Helping Me Bloom, which is up here. You can see both of those are selected, just the green base, once again, and the little saying up here and the line. After you have selected both of those, now it does come in as a group. So if you just drag and drop like this, it does give you an option to flatten. Well, let's just do that. You can just drag and drop. I thought that I would have to take this, unselect this, but I don't have to. So now we can just flatten. Boom. We're ready to go. We still have, I'm hoping that we still have those two cut lines. That does not look like cut lines now. So let's unflatten. So we do need to make sure that this needs to stay a basic cut. Okay, so these need to stay black. Sorry, I was reading your comments. The link should be updated. If not, will you let them know to update the link below our video? It said Lorraine said that she got the file from the website but was not able to get it. There was nothing linked down below. Thanks.
Yeah, let me check that.
We're going to check that for you. Thank you all so much for bringing stuff like that up. It's very important when you do that so that we can course correct for you guys. So we need to make sure that this does stay a basic cut. And actually what we could do, let's go ahead and just come in and ungroup this completely. So we need to ungroup our base. Then we're just going to select the green oval, and we're going to select the saying. So Thanks for Helping Me Bloom. Then we're going to flatten those two together. We lose our two lines, but it's still right here. So what we need to do is, with this flattened piece selected, we need to hold the Shift key down and select these two lines and come down here and attach them. Now for some reason it attached it behind it, but we can bring it in front, and there it is. Beautiful. So we have attached these two lines, so it is going to print and cut this, and then it is going to cut these two slits here. Okay? Now, other than that, everything is pretty much set up exactly like you need to. The only other thing that I would do is I would probably select maybe 2, possibly 3 of these and just duplicate them, just so you have extra floral pieces here in case you want to, for example, in case you want to take one of these petals and add it in. We actually found that we had to do that because we weren't getting as full of the results as we wanted. So cutting a couple extra of these pieces is going to be very important. Now the 2 smaller pieces, we really only need 2 of those. We don't need more than 2 of the smaller ones, but you can make 2 or 3 more of the larger ones. That way we can kind of rip those petals off and add them in once we start stacking everything. Add them in the places that it's missing, okay? Yes, Nicole, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all of this. Sometimes I do things in an order that in my brain it makes sense, but then we have to go back and change it because nope, that didn't work like I thought it would. So just know, we're not perfect, and we know we're not perfect. So other than that, if you wanted to, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. If you wanted to add a text to this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring in a text box. No, No. We're going to keep it. Okay. I don't know why it did that. We're going to, I almost had a little bit of a panic attack there. We're just going to type in monarch. And then we'll put like happy Mother's Day, and we'll just do 2026. We are going to change it all to white. And then we can size it down. Ooh. Okay, thanks for letting me know, but I'm going to flatten it. Now the stem's going to go through the direct center of that. So maybe let's just do, this, and then let's do effects, let's do curve, and let's maybe curve it up just a little. Oh. Okay, so we need to uncurve it just a little bit. Curve. Maybe like that. Maybe even bring in, okay, so this is, you know, Design Space has, is it format? Okay, it's format. They like to change things up about every other week. So I'm going to bring in the letter spacing, ooh, just a little bit, about like that, and then we can select that. Actually, we need to do this one and this one here, and we need to flatten that together, and then bring this back into this attach, like that. Did you all know that you can move stuff down into an attached piece? In case you didn't, you can. So that's how you're going to add extra text to this if you want to, okay? Now, I'm not going to panic anymore. And I'm going to hope this works. Let's go to make it. Okay. On the mat. Confirm. But it's working. It's working, guys. Okay. Does the curve on Design Space on Design Space or need to have design? You do not have to have Cricut access. If that's what you're asking, you do not have to have Cricut access to curve your text. That is a free feature that you can do inside Design Space, inside the free Design Space, by the way. So we're just going to start with this one. I'm going to go to continue. We're going to send this to printer, and then I'll start with everything else. So I am going to click send to printer. We're going to go next. I'm doing the Canon TS9500 series. We are adding the bleed to this because this is going to go the color goes all the way to the edge, and we want to make sure that there is no white edges at all. So that is when you know to add the bleed, if the color goes all the way to the edge. Okay, we always are going to use System Dialog and click Print. And then from there, I like to feed ours from the rear tray. It is not necessary that you feed your paper from the rear tray. I'm just so used to it at this point that that's just what I do. And especially since this is just regular cardstock, if you want to feed it through the bottom tray, obviously it's not a problem. And then after that, we are going to click print. Now I'm going to make sure that we have paper loaded into our printer before we print. And I'm getting the thumbs up that we do, so I'm going to click print. So while that is printing, Maker 3, what? No, but I do want to change this not to the Maker 3. I've not used the Maker 3 in a minute. Oh. Oh?
What is happening?
Our cleaner must have unhooked a lot of our things this weekend. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, because is the little tiny silver one over there the mini Mac that we're using, or is this big guy right here that is unplugged? Look right here.
What?
Was this not our brain?
I think it's. Is there one over here? I can't see.
There is one over here.
I think it's the one we use.
Okay. Well, let's pray together. Our machine, something's wrong. It's saying something about a Maker 3. It won't even let me go change my. Okay, so we're just gonna have to cancel the cut. Yay! Love that. It's all good, guys. Let's just go to cancel. Now let's see if Explore 5. Bluetooth, not Bluetooth. Oh, okay, so we can quickly change. Crisis averted, crisis averted. On the mat, confirm. We're gonna print again since we changed our machine. Just in case something changed. I don't know why it would change, but we're just going to be on the safe side. So rear tray, best, print, done. Beautiful. Now, what I am going to do, now where did that little line come from? Because me don't know where, because that's their 2 lines. And I don't know where this one come from. Now it makes me want to go back and cancel again. But we're going to go with it. So we're going to start out. Let's cut. I do have, no I don't. We're going to cut out our leaves first. So we are going to go ahead, go overhead, add our green paper to our mat here. Make sure it stays down really well. We are going to be cutting this on medium cardstock. We'll load this in and just press the play, and we will let that go. I'll move our t-shirt ruler out of the way so you all can see that. Yes, Amy, that might have been the reason. You're right. That may have been the reason that it was giving me so many issues earlier. Very, very possible. So I do have some pre-cut pieces in here, but honestly, our maker chewed them up like for some reason. I don't know. We may play around with some of them. I just want you all to show. So sometimes we like to pre-cut some of our projects in case we need it. So we have all of these in here in case we do need it, but look at what this was from our Maker 4. It completely chewed this up for some reason. So we're going to recut this on the Explore 5. We do have our leaves that have been cut. We'll bring this in. I'm going to go ahead and grab another mat so that I can go ahead and load it. And this is showing, okay, so I'm glad that Cricut did this. So if you do not duplicate any of the flowers, all of those flowers that come in the original file, remember there was like, I think there were 6 of the big, larger floral pieces and 2 of the smaller ones. So they will all fit on one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. So going over here to Design Space, you can see that all of these fit. Now I could move these around. I really think I could fit more of these on here. And we may have to try to do that, maybe. Or maybe we'll just leave it alone. I don't know. Oh, I can definitely fit more on here. Let's go to done, and let's go, we're going to go to cancel. Yes, because we're going to move some of these around. We're going to for sure move these 2. I don't think that I can fit all 3. But we're going to move object to here. And then I'm going to place that one there. Can I twist it and move it closer? Maybe, maybe not. Can I twist this one? This one's gonna be close. It might not be possible. I think it is. I think I just got it to where we can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the larger ones and 2 of the smaller ones on the same page. So we're going to go to continue. That's the one I'm going to cut on medium cardstock. And we're going to load this in and let that cut. And while that cuts, I'm going to go ahead and unload my mat, unload my leaves from my mat. Now it is very important, let's go overhead. It's very important that you are letting gravity do the work for you when it comes to these leaves. That's what that line went to. Okay, good to know. So there is a line that is attached to this circular piece that it should have cut up the middle. And you need to attach that. If you don't, y'all, all we're doing is we're gonna cut a line from one side of this round piece just to the center so that we can kind of slip this onto the back of our flower. Let me show you. Right here. So that we can put it onto the back of the flower to cover up our floral wire. So while that is cutting, we have our leaves and the back of our piece cut out. What we want to do now is start prepping our floral wire. Now this is a 24 gauge floral wire. Just in case you all are curious, the higher the number, the thinner the wire. So if you got a 20 gauge floral wire, it's going to be thicker than this one. We are using 24 gauge for this. So what I'm doing, I'm starting with 2, and I'm just going to start twisting these 2 wires together. So I'm holding them apart like this. I started twisting, and as I'm twisting, I'm moving my hands down the wire. This does not have to be perfect. We are just wanting to make this a little bit steadier. And a little bit thicker. So there we have 2 pieces together. Now I'm just going to add a third one. So once again, I'm starting them at the same here. I'm going to start that first piece, and then I'm going to I like to kind of separate them like this and then start twisting together. Now, if you all have any questions, make sure you drop them in the chat so that I can help answer your questions if this is something that you're wanting to recreate. So this is 3 of them together, and I think that's a pretty good amount. If you wanted to go more, you can, but I think 3 is plenty. Okay? Now, I'm not going to start wrapping it in floral tape just yet. Not just yet. I'm going to first start with my flower. So I want to get my rose part done, and our machine has now finished cutting. And for some reason, we have a little bit of debris, but not bad. I think it's just because those pieces are so thin in between the petals that there's a little bit of like paper debris that we have to get rid of. So I'm just taking that off first, and then once again, we're gonna go with gravity. I'm also going to grab a spatula to kind of help get these off. Now you do want to be careful, make sure you don't snap your mat. I'm on the bottom, so I'm going to kind of flip it over, and there we go. So now we have all of our floral petals, our rose petals here. I'm going to bring this back in. We'll move this around. Let me move some stuff around. We got a lot going on here on the table. Oh, that's just their ribbon. And we need to get a little bit organized because I do feel like that I craft better when I am organized. Let's flip this over so that you all don't see that ugly little cut that I did. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to organize into my stacks that are all the same. So here are all of this size of petals, and then here are my smaller ones. So looking here, you're going to start your smaller ones. We're not really going to worry about the shape, especially not the shape of that first center one, as far as making the petals look like this. This is what helps make the petals look real. I'll show you how to do that, but with these smaller ones, really what we are the most concerned with is making sure that they curl up the way that they should. So I'm going to grab my fondant tools, and I'm actually going to use this piece. So you want something pretty small, and you really want to start curving, and I should have already turned on my hot glue gun. That's okay. So we'll start these. I'm going to turn my hot glue gun on. I'm going to let it start heating up, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this, okay? Now we did have Carrie ask, can you just use a heavier gauge wire? If you want to and you have a heavier gauge wire and you don't want to curl a couple together, by all means, go have at it. So with our center one, what we're going to do is we're going to start curling all of these up because they're just going to curl in on each other, and that's what's going to create your real looking center, okay? So these are all just going to be curled. Some of them are going to be curled more than others, but we can uncurl and curl them more as we go. So I am going to just make sure that all of these get curled, and then I'm going to also wait to curl this one after we start putting this one together. But while our hot glue gun heats up, after I've curled these, we're going to start shaping our larger petals. Okay, so this is what your small one should look like. I know it looks silly, but what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up curling this one here and gluing it, and then we're going to end up curling this here. Do you all see how it's going to start coming together? And then a little bit wider on this one, and maybe even coming on this side. You're probably going to have to go leave a petal out and come back and add a petal in, okay? But this is what your one, at least one of your small ones should look like, okay? How many petals to make one rose? Well, we started out with 6 of these, so two small ones, 6 large ones, and I added 2 more so that we can take the petals and we can rip them off and add them in. So after we're finished, I will give you an exact number, okay? So, but we're starting out with 8 larger ones, 2 smaller ones. So I'm going to lay these over to the side until look, I think we're already starting to heat up. Beautiful. So let's just start gluing these then. So I'm just adding a little bit of hot glue to the edge of that one so that I can curl it in like this. Come on now. I've waited too long and now that's dried. So you do have to do this pretty quickly, or not too quickly, but there we go. Like that. Then I'm going to glue this one. So I've got a little bit of dotted glue on both edges of the petal so that I can add that there and then bring this side in. Are you all seeing how it's coming together so far? Now this one is going to, if you do this one right up against there, you're going to lose that petal. So you might have to kind of play around with the other. Like, you see how that one on the edge came around a little bit easier to make this, and then I'll start using these other petals. So you do not have to go in order as you go around. It's actually going to be easier and look more natural if you kind of alternate your petals, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue to either side of this one. Bring that in like this. Are you all seeing how it's starting to form? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Now, after you get to, and this is why I didn't want to completely curl all of the smaller ones, but I do think let's just go ahead with this one and make all of these pretty small. You may want to also kind of curl it out a little bit. No, it's still going to come in. That's okay. Either side. We're going to glue that down and then I'll kind of shape that. And then I can glue this one here and this one over here like this. So that's going to be the center of your rose, okay? And you may also not have to, once it starts getting larger, you may not have to glue on either side. You may can kind of leave it open to make it look more like a realistic petal. Like this. So I'm just going to glue on this side of this petal like that. Then I'm just going to bring this side in and kind of glue those together like that. And this is how you are going to start your rose. So this is going to be the center of your rose, and then we can start, I think at this point, we can probably start shaping this other one. And this is exactly why I did not want to 100% curl all of these, is because now this second layer is going to need to be just a little bit larger, but not curled together. So what we're going to do now is we are going to start working with our paper, and you just kind of, the way I want you to think about this is you're just kind of roughing your paper up. You're giving it more movement. It's stiff to begin with, but we need to give it movement. We need to give it life because we are trying to replicate something that is found in nature, something that is alive. So we want to give this paper life. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my fondant tools, okay? I'm just taking it and kind of centering my pressure right here on the largest part of the petal, and also just moving down toward the center, okay? But you can see how that just gives it a little bit more life. Now it does look crinkly, but that's what makes it look real. Now from there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your fondant tool and we're just gonna curl this edge back like this, okay? Lorraine says, when I curl the paper, it always reminds me of curling in the Olympics. Yes, so when you curl in the Olympics, they have to go like this. Same thing with curling flowers. You're gonna do kind of the same thing. Sheila, so glad that you are here. Sheila said, just joined again. So glad that you're here with us. So we are just giving those petals life and giving them movement. And then once we start bringing them together, if we see that they need curled in, we can do that. But now we can start seeing how it's going to take shape. So from here, after I have done that, I'm going to add some glue here in this centerpiece. I'm going to make sure that this stays here, and then we're going to start gluing these petals in together, okay? So we're going to start here, and now we're going to start bringing these petals and making them look a lot more realistic. So same concept. If you skip a petal when you're gluing, you can come back and add it. That is what makes it look real, okay? So look. If I were to go in order like this, do you all see how that just doesn't look real? But if I skip a petal, curl this one in, bring it up, and then add this one to the back and curl that out, that looks so much more natural than if I had it layered like this. Like you can't even see it, okay? So that's why when you are doing this, there's not a true method. You just kind of have to play around with it and figure out, okay, that looks more real than what I was doing. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. Start pulling these petals in. I'm going to skip this one, move over here to this one. We're still, remember, this is still close to the center of this rose, so it's going to be still maybe a little bit curled in on itself, but the petals are starting to kind of move out. Does not take a lot of hot glue. You all can see, does not take a lot of hot glue there. So what I have done are 3 alternating petals, and then I've left 3, so now I can come in and add these alternating petals here, and you can see where you may start needing some extra petals, okay? That's where those extra bigger ones are going to come into play once we start building all of this a little bit more out. Also, I feel like these 2 were kind of giving me a point, so I'm going to bring those in just a little bit like that and make sure that these start going out. But I'm going to glue this one down closer to the bottom right here so that that top can stay out and it can actually curl out a lot better. Okay, see this, how it's starting to work? Okay, Karen asked, and this is a great question. And Jolene, are you gluing more in the middle rather than the sides? So when I first started doing this, and let me see if I can, here's a smaller one. Let's kind of go through this again. And this is just all about, there's not a right or wrong answer. So when I was curling in this main piece, I was gluing on both sides and bringing it together like this. So I had a little bit of, actually with this one, we'll just do a little bit of glue on this side. And you see how I'm curling it in on itself right here. So this was our center. And then as I was curling these together, I had it on both sides. So when you're doing this piece, you're probably gonna add glue on both sides of the petals when you're starting. You're gonna have it on both sides. The second layer, on the first 3 petals, I added the glue closer to the top. On the second 3 petals, remember I did an alternating, so I did this petal, so I would do this petal, and this petal on the second layer. I glued those closer to the top. On the other 3, so these 2 that are left, I'm gonna glue them closer to the bottom because I wanted the tops of the first 3 to still somewhat curl in on themselves. And now, from here forward, I'm gonna be gluing closer to the bottom and pulling this up here. That way I can curl that edge out. Okay, so you just have to kind of see, is this starting to look like a real rose? I don't want it to keep curling in like this. I want it to be more of an open rose. So if you want it more open, just know that you're gonna need your glue closer to the bottom there. And that way we can open these out like this. So like, if I were, you could even do cute little rose buds and like add 3 more petals to the outside of this, and that would be a super cute little rose bud. And that could be it. But we're doing a full one. So this is just 2 layers. These are the 2 smallest layers that we have. And now we're gonna start with our large rose pieces. So once again, we are gonna be doing the same thing. Now, when I'm starting, I like to use the larger size of my fondant tool on that center, and then kind of moving my way up this way. And there, once again, there is no rhyme or reason. We're just giving this paper movement. That is our main goal right now, is giving this paper movement. And I actually switch back and forth between the larger one depending on how it's doing, what I like, but I'm just kind of roughing the paper up right now, and then I'm gonna come in and curl these petals backwards. So you want it to look like this, okay? And we can manipulate a lot more once we start gluing it down and figuring out where we want these petals and filling in the gaps, okay? So this is gonna be our next layer, and you can see how we can start filling in these gaps. Now, once again, we're probably gonna do this. We'll do glue, glue, glue. So we're gonna do 3, and then we're gonna do the other 3. So first we're gonna start out here with our centerpiece. We're gonna hold that down here. And then it's just working our way out, okay? So we've got our centerpiece glued down, and now you just kind of have to work with your paper and kind of see how you want this to go. So you might even want, sometimes we want them to come in a little bit more and then fold out. I think because we are starting to work our way toward the edges, we're not gonna fold anymore. So we're gonna glue close to the bottom. Remember, I'm gonna do, there it goes. I'm gonna do 1 here. So we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3, and then we're gonna come back with the other 3, okay? And once again, if you feel like these petals need glued like together like this, you can do that. And then I'm going to bring these 3 in like this. And these two. So these two are wanting to come to a point, and I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. Whoop, a little too much glue there. Came out all at once, but it's okay. Actually, let's go ahead and round that out and bring this one up and glue them all three together, like this. And you can see, as you glue and manipulate your paper, you can make your paper work for you. Like this. Now this is wanting to go out. And I'm going to glue this one in here. And I think I need a little bit more. Sorry if I get out of the frame just a little bit. So now you're kind of starting to see where you may need those extra petals to fill those gaps, okay? And that is why having those extra pieces can be very, very important, or is very, very important. Now that looks a little funny, but just give me some time. It will look better as we keep moving. Okay, so here's where we're at. Lisa said, could use distressing ink on the edges of the petals to make it look more realistic. Yes, if you are a paper crafter or a card maker and you have like distressing ink or you have different inks, you could add inks to the edges of these petals and it would look, like Lisa said, even more realistic. So once again, we're just taking our fondant tool. We're giving this, every time you do this, I want you to say, I'm giving my paper life. I am bringing this to life for the person that I love. I'm making this look as realistic as possible. I don't know, I just like speaking life and positivity into any creation that I am, anything that I'm doing. So, we're curling this together, coming back in, curling those out. And at this point, you're going to start seeing how now we can just start adding this one in and not really having to overlap. And it's starting to come together, but still yet I'm seeing pieces where I could use some extra petals and some extra help. But that's just all this is each, look, well, there's going to be the one where we use some extra petals and extra help, maybe to like add that in there. Look, that already looks so much more realistic. Anyway, I accidentally ripped that one. If that's the case, then that's the one that you're going to use for your petals. Does anyone have any other questions so far about maybe the way that we have done this, technique, suggestions? What are you guys doing? Would love to know. Catch up. How many friends do we have here with us today?
We have 101.
Thank you all so much for spending your Wednesday with us.
Yes.
If you are new to the channel, we go live every Wednesday with a brand new craft. We've got some really good ones coming up too. Okay, so we're just giving this life, bringing this in. First thing we're going to do is glue this down on the bottom right here, like that. Beautiful. And then once again, we're going to start gluing this kind of together. And as we add more layers, the less glue we need. We don't have to go in and glue everything together. But for this one, we still need to add a little bit. So we're going to bring this guy up just a little bit here. And actually, I feel like that looks pretty good. Right here is where I would probably go in and add some extra petals like this one. And once I did that, how I would do that, take the one that's ripped, just add a little bit on the bottom and just kind of pop it down in there where I feel like I need one. Like right there, I felt like I need one. Kind of feel like I need one right here. Oh yeah, right there's another need. Oh, Nakia, oh my goodness. You start your new job on Monday. Congratulations again, by the way. I hate that we're not going to be able to see you, but just comment on the replay. We'll still get to stay in touch with you. We're so excited and happy for you that you got your job. Okay. So now I do think I need a little bit of glue right here. And I'm just going to kind of bring these two together like that and hold that there. And we're just going to keep on working our way out. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. Oh, we still got quite a way to go. Not too bad though. I mean, you can make your rows as large and or as small as you want. You can see this one's a lot larger. We're gonna keep going, but if you wanted to, you could make a smaller one. It does not have to be, you do not have to use all 6 if you don't want to. If you are satisfied, because not all roses are completely like bloomed out. You may want it more up like this one, and if that's the case, I would come in and like glue some of these petals a little bit more together on the edges, but you could technically stop right there. We're not going to. Oh, I do still have to go get our print and cut piece. I completely forgot about that one. I'll go grab that here in a minute. We still need to cut that. Once again, we're just bringing life and movement into this petal. And then rolling these back like this. And then I will say, I try to position my petals like, so you see how these two come together and create like a gap here. All of them do. I try to position it to where one petal lines up and like covers that gap, instead of what you don't want to do is you don't want to line it up. Do you see how this petal is directly behind that petal? You don't want to do that. You want to do a little bit of an offset, kind of like that. Do you see how much more full that looks versus that? That just looks like a flower. That makes it look like a rose. Okay, so we're going to add our glue here. Make sure we position exactly where we want. And with hot glue, you can move it around for just a few minutes if you need to. Oh, we're getting there. We're really getting there. Although I crushed this guy. I also kind of feel like for some reason I just need a little petal like right here. That's looking empty to me. But I fear I need a smaller petal. Nope. It don't look right. I think it's fine. Okay, keeping on, keeping on. We're just bringing, like I said, we're just bringing life into this rose, curling backwards. This is very much a rinse and repeat craft. Cindy says, I use the tiniest ball tool for scoring. I put the paper in a paper cutter and use the groove on the paper cutter to run the tiny ball to score straight lines. Yeah, you can do that. We're not actually scoring straight lines right now. We're just bringing this paper to life. We're giving it movement. But yeah, a lot of people do that. Love that. And then once again, just continuing adding our layers until you are satisfied. I think that's going to be our last layer for this one. If you want my honest opinion, I think we're going to stop there. So I'm just going to add last little bit of glue here, and we're going to position it right here like this. And then from there you can open up and or kind of close up your rose as much as you want. You can see here is an area right here that I feel like I'm having a gap, and I can see that's a great place to add another petal. So I'm going to grab another petal here. Do you see how, and I'm actually going to rip part of this bottom piece off because I don't need it to be so tall, but do you see how that just kind of, here it is before, here it is when I add another petal. I mean, I think it speaks for itself. So I'm just adding glue to that bottom, finding my gap, gluing that in. So now just go around, look for any gaps that you feel like you have, take your extra, rip that off. I would definitely make sure the petal is going to fit and look nice first, because when I look at this right here, I feel like I see a gap, but how can I fix that gap? So can I fix it here? Looks like I need to, there's the gap. Do y'all see that? It's like I want to fix this gap here, but that was too tall. So I'm just going to keep ripping down and seeing if I can like somehow fit this in that gap, but make it look realistic before gluing it down. And honestly, maybe I just need the gap. Maybe the gap is not as bad as I thought. I think I might just leave it, because when I was trying to place this in, like, it just doesn't look right. So we're just going to leave it. And that is going to be our rose. Now we are ready to cover our floral wire with our floral tape. Now you do kind of have to determine, I am going to bend this down like this, and this is just going to give me something to place this on right there. You can either bend it forward. I like to bend mine forward just because it kind of sits it on an angle like this. Do y'all see how that works? And then I can use that circular piece to cover that up and add more support. So I like to bend mine at an angle, but before you do that, what we can do is go ahead and wrap it, or if you want to determine how long, oh, that's what we need to do. We need to determine how long of a stem we want, number one, determine the stem length, but I guess we probably need to go get our print and cut piece and cut it. So give me just a second. I'm going to run out here to the printer. Did it not print? Oh. Okay. No, next. Okay. Get out. It's telling me to replace paper and print. Yes. Next. Okay, we're gonna cancel print. We're gonna try this again. Okay guys, for some reason that didn't print. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's go back to our share screen. Devil's playing with the church's money today. Print, send to printer. It for some reason did not print. Use system dialog. Is it printing now? Oh, it's printing now. JK, it's printing now. But we can actually, we'll use this for reference. Let's just use this as a reference. I think it would be a good bet to say that you can make your, let's go overhead, that you could make your sim probably about 6 or 7 inches. We'll go 7 to be on the safe side. Should I be using wire cutters for this? Absolutely. Am I? Nope. Good thing these are not super amazing scissors. So, we have our little 7-inch. Oh, this one, that one's longer than 7. That one is closer to this size. So this one was a little bit longer, but I do like the way that you can hold it, because I'm thinking like if I add leaves and stuff to this one, it might be a little too small. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So actually, let's go 8 inches, 8.5 to 9 inches. Although when I'm placing this here, it's definitely going to hang down past the Happy Mother's Day. But you know, that's just a, I'm just willing to bear that. I think I'll be okay because I like the looks of this better. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to start, if you've never worked with floral tape before, it is a different material. It is something, I'll tell you that. And it's kind of tricky to start working with, okay? So it is one of those things that is sticky on both sides. But what I like to do is roll and twist. Roll, and you see how I have it at an angle? Do y'all see how I'm moving it like this? It's a roll and a twist. And we're just going to keep moving down. And I like to add quite a bit. Your fingers are going to get sticky from this. But what I do like about it is I can run my fingers over this and it's going to smooth out anything that I might have like missed. So we're just going to keep rolling and twisting. Now I like to do my whole floral, like my whole floral wire first. Now we can, and we are going to kind of glue and secure our leaves into this floral wire as well, just to give us, and then once you're done, you just kind of pinch it in on itself like this, and it stays like that. Okay, so we are going to use the floral wire to secure our leaves as well, but what I suggest doing is adding a little bit of hot glue first, and we also probably need to curl up our leaves too. Let's give them some life. So we're just going to kind of, not the stems, you don't want to, they're pretty fragile, so we just want to kind of give our leaves a little bit of life, maybe kind of curl them in, add some dimension on the edges, maybe even turn them back just a little bit if you need to, like that. It's just manipulating your paper without tearing it to make it a lot more realistic looking, like that. And then what you're going to want to do is, I'm going to move all of this stuff out of the way real quick. I'm going to add just a little bit of hot glue here. Then I'm going to come in with my floral wire, or my wire wrapped in floral tape. And we're going to hold that there for just a second. Now, this is not meant for the hot glue to secure this on completely. I just kind of want it to hold it in place. And then I'm going to come in with my floral tape and we're going to start wrapping this floral tape around this paper. And actually, I think I'm going to cut this off and I'll get another piece if I need to, and I will need to. So I need to, actually, I don't even think the hot glue really held it on there at all. Now, I am also going to, okay, so this is very important. Do y'all see? I want to make sure y'all see. So I've added the floral tape up to this leaf, and then I'm going to move this leaf down and secure this in between these two leaves like this. And then we're just going to keep on wrapping. And then moving this up, and then we're just going to wrap this out. If you want to cut it off, you can. Just bringing these together like this. Okay, so that is how we're going to add our leaves to our floral stem. Now, if you want to go ahead and add the other one, you can. I'm not going to right now, but the last thing that we're going to do before doing our print and cut, and actually, let's just go ahead and get our print and cut started before we move on. I'm going to have my Cricut start cutting out our base. So there it is. I had to look for my brayer, guys. We're going to bray this down on our mat really well. Like this. There it is. I don't know why it says preparing print. Escape. We're going to set our base material to medium cardstock. And then we are going to load that in and let our machine cut that. Now, while our machine is cutting, we're going to take our floral stem. I'm going to pull it forward like this. And this is very important that you have this piece, because this piece helps keep that glue and the flower together, okay? So what we are doing now is we are gluing these two pieces together. Remember, I said that the hot glue really won't hardly stick to the floral wire. So that is why this piece is needed. So we're going to place this piece, the circular piece, through the floral wire that I bent forward in the crook of that bend. Do y'all see how I have that attached? From there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a pretty good amount of hot glue to this. Then I'm going to take my floral piece and we are going to sandwich these two pieces together. Just like this. And you're going to want to hold. And then once that is secured down, you have your cutie little rose. Look at that. Look how stinking cute. And now, here is our, and this is why it's so important to turn the bleed on, because it looks like this Cricut needs calibrating pretty bad, actually. Look at that. But I can now place this inside our card. And look how cute. Now we're done. What did you guys think? Oh my goodness.
So cute.
I am obsessed with this. I think that learning how to create 3D flowers that look real, that people actually want, is honestly such a flex. Like, I'm sorry, is that a real flower? Is it not? Like, look how cute. Can't really, I mean, you can kind of tell it from the back, but I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed. So, once again, if you haven't, or if you are not a part of the Makers Gonna Learn family and you want to recreate this, you can do so just using the file that we used today. It's super easy. If you don't have an MGL membership and you want to get this file, you can go ahead and sign up for our 7-day, or it is 7 days, $7 trial membership. You're gonna get unlimited access to our website. You're gonna get access to every single course inside our portal. You're gonna get access to every single cut file, every single font. Now, I will say with the $7 trial, you are only gonna be able to download 20 different things. So keep that in mind. This is a great one to go ahead and get. Like, there's a lot that comes with this. There is your backer, there's the 3D paper, or the 3D flower. So many. Remember, this is the flower gift. You can download any 20 fonts, files, and make sure either one, all fonts, all files, really doesn't matter, with that $7 trial. But if you want to recreate this, we would love to see you recreate this. Also, I would love to see this. If you do recreate this, I would love to see how you recreate it. Post it in the Facebook group. I love getting in the Facebook group and seeing what you all are creating, seeing what you're doing. So make sure if you do recreate this, post it there. If you're watching the replay, leave us a comment. Make sure you all like this video. I've love how your t-shirt matches the rose. I really didn't mean for this to happen today, guys, but it just happened. It does match. You know, clearance t-shirt from the Walmart.
Walmart's got some good clothes these days.
Y'all, that's one thing. If you all are sleeping on Walmart, the clothing department, that's
So
your
good.
number one mistake.
Yes.
And when they put stuff on clearance, I got a dress, a shirt, and that black tank top that I wore on Monday, all for $30. 2 shirts and a full dress for $30.
That's That's actually crazy.
I know. I know.
Crazy.
Anyway, that's my little spiel for the day. Walmart clothes and Walmart clearance. I don't normally try to support Walmart, but if I can get their clothes on clearance cheaper than I can the thrift store. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here with us today. Remember, we will be back here on the channel next Wednesday, crafting with you all live, and we have some really good videos coming out this Sunday as well. So make sure that you hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every time we get crafty. We will see you guys